Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy KJ5 to the 2. You're listening to
Yo,
Amp
what
Radio.
they do?
It's
Your boy Official, and I just came by to encourage my brother SA with Amp Radio and whoever is part of this.
Yo, what's good, fam? It's your boy DM, and you listening to SA from Death2Self Records on Amp Radio. Check it out.
Covered in the blood while he hung, cause he drifted wet. While he was in the garden.
What up? It's your boy Bishop Chase, man. You know, just wanted to leave a shout out to my man SA. Man, you doing big things, man. Keep repping Christ. You know, keep doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing with the show, man. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Youngtown.
Girl, LF.
Freshman.
This is Kim Frank.
I just want to encourage y'all to be checking out Amp Radio, one of the hottest radio shows on the web right now for your music to be played, as well as other music to be played, as well as your music and stuff like that. Hey, you listening to Amp Radio? You know what I mean? Just keep doing what you do, man. God moves. All right, bro. One love.
Keep it locked right here.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy SA representing D2S Records and, of course, Amped Radio. Welcome to today's episode. We are playing episode 17, and today is not your ordinary episode. We are covering some amazing songs from the past, blasts from the past, if you want to call it that. This is, of course, commemorating my record label that started back in 2004, Death2Self Records, otherwise known as D2S Records. We got a lot of songs. This is going to be song heavy in this episode. So right now we got Legend, which is a song of mine from back in the day, followed by One Life to Live by Freshman, and then of course J Deuce with Theory of My Evolution. Stay tuned. We'll be coming right back to talk more about the label right after this. Bring the bass.
This is the epidemic. This is a new year. This is being the legend, man. This is what I'm talking about. Come on. Show 'em like you care. SA. Death2Self. Yo, a legend is made once a person is saved. It doesn't hang out in church, messages to be made. He goes into the streets, reaching out to the masses. Doesn't give a flip about the trials, cities and past. He's a soldier of one, and that one is the son of God, sucker. Oh yeah, you know that's the one. He's got a friend by his side, and the friend is the word. The truth got me cutting deep with any double-edged sword. Ain't no devil around, can take out the soldier too. We gonna stab his sword that he has right to you. It's twist that leave you bleeding with your face on the floor. When your sins are revealed, he gonna destroy you some more. Disciple X said this, in case you were guessing. Love is violent, man. Look at the crucifixion. Now why you church you critics aiming take out my head? 2 million John the Baptist, that's how I get fed. Come on, march on, be strong, march on. No wrong can't stop you from being set on fire for God. March on, march on. We're here to be legends, son. Let's march on the side. Come on, march on, be strong, march on. No wrong can't stop you from being set on fire for God. March on, march on. We're here to be legends, son. Let's march on the side. And don't try to be meek. I carry that this week. Though the meek inherit heaven, so and that's bittersweet. We're the last to be accepted, but the first to be chosen. And no matter too high that we cannot overcome it. Not just keeping it real, but really what is too real. To bring the message of hope is something you gotta feel. Am I supposed to water down every message I spill? To gain acceptance in the hood, but to me that is real. But stand up for what you believe, no matter what. Well, it's not changing your point of view, so let me tell you what. Real is fake in the world, so call me out of this world. Cause my lyrics are on fire, but they're the light of the world. You got a power to you, just gotta learn how to use it. To be fearless and ruthless, you know that you can do this. Take hold of my hand, we're gonna form an echelon. We're gonna tear the devil up while I march on the side.
March on, be strong, march on, no wrong. Can't stop you from being set on fire for God. March on, march on.
We're here to be legends, son. Let's march on the side, y'all.
March on, be strong, march on, no wrong. Can't stop you from being set on fire for God. March on, march on.
We're here to be legends, son. Let's march on the side, y'all. Now you probably don't know for real reason I flow. It's not for the fame and it's not for the dough. It's not to start trouble, it's to bring us some soul. It's to make an impression and give you some control. We gotta reclaim the media as it is before it continues to keep brainwashing our kids. You think there's nothing wrong with the music you hear? Why drugs, murders, and gangs increase every year? Why teens sit in prisons before they're 16? Why nobody giving witness to what they are succeed. Instead they just laugh and embrace disease when they should be on the knees. Pray to Elohim. I don't mean to be rough when I spit on the cut. I'm just letting you know that I've done had enough. That's why I made this album, so I can show you my stuff. I guess like a novice said, I'm a diamond in the rough.
March on, be strong, march on, no wrong can't stop you from being set on fire for God. March on, march
I say
on.
we're here to be legends, son. Let's march on Zion.
March on, be strong, march on, no wrong can't stop you from being set on fire for God. March on,
I
march
said we're
on.
here to be legends, son. Let's march on Zion.
That's right, everybody. Spiritual Noise presents the Legend album. First album from his release on Death2Self Records. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on.
Turn it up.
This is not your ordinary radio.
What you got? All right.
You're listening to Amp Radio,
Where the party
brought
at?
to you by D2S Records. We got you in the mix.
You know, time goes fast. One proof, look at the hourglass. Ticking, talking, it's slipping, dog. How long will it last? What's funny is how watches die. That's the best way to know about time. It doesn't go on and on forever in an infinite line. The only thing that does is eternity, which ain't on this earth. If it was, you would have heard of me in the century of Earth. So let's take a minute, slow rolls. Think about this and know what goes. You only got one life to live, you know. The grass withers and the flowers fade. Even babies die, you should be amazed. Take a look around, we're approaching the grave. Away from being made in the shade. There's a reason we've been made this way. It takes a mind that's sharp like blade. Off your way, off your trade. Representing, do your thing. Spark your faith, rob a bank. Ha ha ha, I'm just playing. Don't be a slave, don't be a maid. And keep your things banging. We need some inspiration, we in a depressed nation. Rock what God gave you, live your life to the fullest, baby.
This is your time, are you ready for it? The clock's ticking while you're sitting on your can't ignore it. Your life's like a vapor in the wind. You've only got one life to
Like it is.
This is your time, are you ready for it? The clock's ticking while you're sitting on your can't ignore it. Do the most with the time that you've been given. Only got one life to live.
Time is precious, we must take drastic measures to ensure that we do the most with what God left us. Cherish your treasures, don't put them on the shelf. Life is a blessing, take it for yourself. I'm talking love on your enemies, not just your family. Pray extra just for your parents' sanity. Husbands, show love, don't cheat on your wives. Ladies, reciprocate so your love won't die. Stop the abuse, no there is no excuse. How would you feel if you're the one choked by the noose? Honesty, communication, no reservations. That brings you love could be gone the minute you awaken. Your last words get hurt and never be taken back. You laugh or even teenagers dying of heart attacks. Cancer in younger and older ones. Babies killed before they're born by abortion.
This is your time, are you ready for it? The clock's ticking while you're sitting on your can't ignore it. Your life's like a vapor in the wind. You've only got one life to live. This is your time, are you ready for it? The clock's ticking while you're sitting on your can't ignore it. Do the most with the time that you've been given. Only got one life to live.
Tick, flip the script. Clock's running out, look what time it is. Top, pop and lock. Dance when you get the chance. Ride a rock. Terrorism, terrorists, making people scared to live. Now brush it off, bear a grin. Care to win and care to give.
We're dealing with warfare, it's World War III. You don't wanna see how bad that it will be. Religions cause divisions, there will be no peace.
It's getting close for sure to the moment of peace. The sun will darken and hearts will harden. Teams of Batmans will be Robins. Constantly there will be problems. We'll all have to flee Gotham. That's what we all need, Dada. Otherwise we teeter-totter. None of us want hopelessness to be our robber.
So send
Cause we're aware that all time's scarce. What will we do to be prepared? Will we waste our time? Take it for granted. Cherish every moment like a hopeless romantic. This is your time. Are you ready for it? The clock's ticking while you're sitting on your candy. Tell them like it is. Your life's like a vapor in the wind. You've only got one life to live. This is your time. Are you ready for it? The clock's ticking while you're sitting on your candy. Do the most with the time that you've been given. Only got one life to live.
Are you listening?
Come on.
Are you ready for it? Only got one life to live. Are you listening? Are you ready for it? Only got one life to live. Are you listening?
Come with me on this journey. Yo, back for a moment. I evolved from a family poisoned with poverty, from a home poisoned with dysfunctional tendencies. I evolved from staying on my grind, no resting, while the rest will focus on how many girls they sexing. I evolved from being whack to being the opposite. People say I'm a great writer, might as well be a novelist. I evolved from problems without solutions, from a novice to an undisputed. My lyrics should be added to the Constitution. You can write what I say and make it a 28th Amendment. I evolved into a prudent adolescent. Being immune to immaturity had limited days. I'm still growing out of it like zits on your face. I evolved from the atmosphere of fear, from fist of rage to sorrowful tears, from broken-hearted relationships to moments of cheers, ready for the moment when the enemy's near. I evolved from not knowing nothing to knowing a little something. I took some hits along the way, so I make sure my tracks are thumping. Bad tendencies attach to me until I find the solution. This battle I refuse to lose it. This is the theory of my evolution. I'm forced through the pressure to continue my growth. I can't afford to break the God-given oath. Gotta reach my full potential without losing. Learn to be clean from my past pollution. This is the theory of my evolution. The situation, no answers, find them solutions. And everything holding me back, gotta keep moving. This is the theory of my evolution. I take you on a journey every time I speak on the track. Taking your mind to places near and far before I bring it back. I share my experiences so you can relate and know it. My feelings may be tangible so you're in touch with my emotions. Powerful like a locomotive, equivalent to my motivation. Music is high release cause it's hard to keep containing. Telling you about my setbacks so you can move forward in life. Can't afford to kick back like on the couch with the chords light. I gotta keep making moves like rolling doubles, playing Monopoly. But this ain't no game, I can't let nothing stop me. Trials and tribulations raining on me, Lord, please calm the storm. Once the dust settles, will you reveal the reason why I was born? Purpose driven is how I need to be living. I need to not die until I accomplish my God-given mission. So please allow yourself to explore with me. You won't need no backpack or boots to come with me on this journey. I'm forced through the pressure to continue my growth. I can't afford to break the God-given oath. Gotta reach my full potential without losing. Learn to be clean from my past pollution. This is the theory of my evolution. The situation, no answers, find them solutions. And everything holding me back, gotta keep moving. This is the theory of my evolution. I'm forced through the pressure to continue my growth. I can't afford to break the God-given oath. Gotta reach my full potential without losing. Learn to be clean from my past pollution. This is the theory of my evolution. The situation, no answers, find them solutions. And everything holding me back, gotta keep moving. This is the theory of my evolution.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Theory of My Evolution by J Deuce. Prior to that was One Life to Live by Freshman. And then, of course, the first track that started it off was Legend by Essay, which was the title track to my first published album, Legend. And when I say published, I mean small circulation, published as in printed from, well, it was published like print, not digital, so it never made it to iTunes or anything. But that was my first published album. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy S.A. and welcome to episode number 17. Today we are talking about the birth of Death2Self Records, 15 years in the making. That is the title for today's episode. And we got some more songs. So if you were here for us last week, you know that we had a little commercial break in between me talking. So now we're at 2 segments of me. You had 1, and now you got 2 segments of me talking, but they're shorter. So we got another musical break coming up in a little bit where we're gonna play some more songs, and then today is just all about D2S. So all you're gonna hear from us today is D2S artists. So we got some awesome songs coming up, but there's a point and there's a reason why I'm doing this, is because I wanted to take this episode to kind of dive into the history. See, last week you got to hear about some of my past struggles, what made me, you know, the weirdo that I am today. But today we're going to talk about the record label. As you can see, if you're watching on the live stream, I got my D2S hat on, you know, so representing the label. But what exactly is D2S? Where did it all start from? I'm going to get into that in just a moment. So I would love to make sure that you guys are checking this out. You can also, of course, watch the replay on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, all that good stuff as usual. And if you are an artist, we would love to play your songs on here. Just go ahead and go to ampdradiolive.com, submit your songs there, or email it to us at ampdradio@death2selfrecords.com. That's death, the number 2, selfrecords.com. All right, so welcome everyone. I've said that already, but just want to say it again. Let's get into a little bit of history, because you can't understand the whole culmination of Amped Radio and why this is so important unless you understand what came before it, what built the foundation for Amped Radio. And that, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, is this right here, Death2Self Records. So in recent months, for the last year now, we've been calling it just D2S Records. But D2S, for those who don't know, stands for Death2Self Records. And that actually is a biblical thing. It comes from the scripture, which is today's scripture of Luke 9:23 and 24, which is essentially talking about denying yourself, and so that you can put others ahead of you, put others before you. Of course, put God before you, put your love for God before you. It's really just denying yourself, you know, because we live in a society that it's really all about me, gratifying myself, gratifying who I am. And we see it every day. I mean, I'm as guilty of it now as I ever was. It's, you know, what can I do to please myself? But what about, like, how often do we spend time thinking about others, thinking about helping others, raising other people up, right? So Death2Self is really just about, it's a statement, it's a declarative statement that is meant to shift the culture, shift the ideology of this whole me, myself, and I mentality to let's put others first. And I really think that if we grabbed on to this idea, this ideal firmly, that we would understand just how amazing we can be to other people, and what great changes we can have towards other people. How we can just change the world. And, you know, I'll just say this because I had a little bit of not an incident, but just a little bit of a altercation. Yesterday I was driving to the next town over, and there was a long construction line on the highway. By the time I got out, man, there was quite a few drivers that were just so, you could tell, man. First of all, they wouldn't let me in. They wouldn't let me merge as they were supposed to. Second, I mean, they were just speeding and being so reckless. And I mean, they could have easily gone to a wreck or bumped into me and caused me to get into a wreck, so on and so forth. You could sense the hate. Like, I felt hate, you know? But, and not for me, but I could sense the hate. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because, if we thought of others first and not so much about why, oh my gosh, this pileup inconvenienced me. But instead, if we thought about, well, let me make sure that I'm driving safe so that everyone else gets to their destination safely. And instead of disregarding other people's safety, man, there would be less car wrecks. If we thought of other people before ourselves, there'd be less car wrecks, less accidents, less deaths, obviously. But I digress. All right, so with that in mind, guys, let's take a walk back to 15 years. Let's travel 15 years into the past, into the year 2004. And let us travel all the way to the Bronx of New York City, where it all started. We're going to begin this story, and we're going to conclude the story after our next music break, but let us just take that journey for just a moment right now. And let's take you into the mind and the world of some crazy, skinny Puerto Rican with some weird idea of putting others first. Let's just think about that. Let's grasp that for a moment. Now, this dude, we'll just call him Essay. Let's call him that. This dude, Essay, he grew up in the Bronx, which is the birthplace of hip hop, the birthplace of rap music, and honestly, he wasn't a fan. Besides the Will Smiths of the world, besides the LL Cool J's of the world, your boy Essay was not a fan of hip hop. And the reason why is because hip hop, despite it being a good cultural art form, in music form, its mainstream hip hop had a lot of negativity in it. First of all, it was all about gratifying yourself. Second of all, it was about very negative themes. We're talking about, sex, which sex isn't negative, but, the highest demographic for hip hop was young kids, teenagers. I mean, I was in the 4th grade and people were, my classmates were quoting Biggie Smalls lyrics, And, so, I mean, this stuff is age appropriate for adults, but not for little kids in the 4th, 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? So, talking about sex, talking about, very promiscuous activities, drugs, and of course, protecting my rep, shooting people down for those who don't agree with you. And I'm not talking about Biggie. I'm talking about, all across the globe, all across the form of hip hop. It was about this very self-centered, machoistic mentality. And that was not something that I was happy with. I did not appreciate that. I was church boy growing up. I was very squeaky clean. I was too squeaky. I was like, I guess I did not really understand people. And that's not, I'm not lifting myself up. I'm actually just putting myself in my place for a moment. But so anyway, there was one day when your boy Essay noticed that someone that he was really close with, someone that meant a lot to him, someone that he considered like a brother, someone that he grew up, in the church with, and cared for as a Christian, as a brother, as a relative, a family member. And notice how this person that he cared for, that was also very quote unquote squeaky clean like him, slowly changed into the images that were being portrayed in these rap lyrics. This dude started doing drugs and smoking and carrying weapons with him and, being reckless, promiscuous, all these things. And your boy Essay started to wonder, well, was this all innate inside of him? Was this all just, what he always was? Or was this just the portrayal of music coming out? You know what I'm saying? Was he just living out what was being spoken about in the music? Was the music culturally shifting him into what the music was calling him to be? Essay thought that it was the latter because he noticed that a lot of people were acting this way, but it didn't really struck him as hard until he actually witnessed it for himself. And so, in a moment of quietness, this skinny Puerto Rican was in prayer, just talking to God and saying, God, I can't believe that my dude right here is doing these things, is you know, falling far away from the man that he used to be, or the kid that he used to be. And as he was praying, all you can hear is that music, and the music, the words were just speaking out the things that this person had become. And as S.A. was listening to this, he said, Father God, help me to fight fire with fire. And so that's when he started to do Christian rap. At the time in 2004, Christian rap wasn't a huge thing. We had a few acts like DC Talk, you know, Preachers in Disguise, or Pastors in Disguise, I can't remember, sorry about that, but PID. We had the Grassroots Records movement. We had John Rubin, you know, but we had quite a few acts that were, they couldn't really reflect exactly what the mainstream was doing, except for Grassroots. Grassroots was amazing. But point is that the Christian hip-hop landscape was not a big thing, and whatever did exist was actually going through a huge battle with the churches, because churches would not accept Christian hip-hop at the time. You may have thought of Christian hip-hop as being something cheesy, like a cheesy version of what hip-hop is, but the churches thought of it as a perversion of Christianity. And so there was this huge war going on to let Christian hip-hop exist. So the landscape was not huge. So when your boy S.A. found it in his heart to start doing music for the Lord, what birthed in his heart, what birthed in his mind, and what came out was, as you can tell, Death2Self Records. Now, Death2Self Records was meant to be edgy, so anyone that hears the name thinks, wow, that's kind of a jarring kind of name. That was definitely intentional. So Death2Self came out, and what came of it was much bigger than what people may recognize today, because today our activity is so low that, you know, if you're not a big fan, you don't really remember much. But we had a lot of activity. We were named among some of the big names out there at the time. And not only that, we were just not a local label. We were a national label. We had artists from all over the US. And so I'm going to list off some of the artists that you may be familiar with if you are a fan of D2S Records. And then we're going to cut to our musical break, and we'll come back and hear more of the story. So, of course, the first founding artist on the label was your boy S.A. S.A., 2 letters, which stands for spiritually anointed, which means going deeper with God than what's just on the flesh. So there's a meaning there. It's not meant to be a cheesy Christian rap name. It has weight to it. So that's me. That's S.A. Following me were several artists that you may remember, one of which being Freshman, which is another artist that you know to this very day from Oregon. And then following that, we have Youngtown from Alabama. Now, Youngtown became big on YouTube doing video game raps and stuff like that, and he was big on the label as well. Then we have Polarity, which at the time was Brittany, which of course is my wife. We have J-Deuce, also from the Bronx, New York, and that's a whole story in itself, talking about J-Deuce on the label. We have Kim France, who was not a rapper, she was a singer, much like Polarity. We have LS, who was a rapper and singer and just all-around awesomeness. But we got our music break coming up. And here's Youngtown with I Won't Stop, and we got some more on the way. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Check it out.
Yeah. What up, y'all? It's your boy. This one a little different. Just gonna feel me on this one. You know. Yeah. Every single day thinking of another rhyme. Just another time when I get the chance to touch the mic. Life is hectic anyways during the times I try to compress what I want to do in some small amounts of time. Get past the 8 and crash in the basement with the demons try to take stabs with my faces. I give it all like stand strong, feeling painless. Location changes, say here is where my pain is. If you wanna take me and try to change me, I'll leave you on the mic smoked. Feeling blaze these lines and rhymes combined, entwined inside my life, designed to find the blinded eyes. Attached to lost souls surrounding in dark pits. Put my hand down, got some mad at the darkness. That's my purpose. If you have fallen, I try my best to get you back and start with G-O-D and to see those things you can never never have. Starting to see what's holding your heart and chose you whether you like it. My life stays with Christ, succeeds the righteous. I won't stop till this world shall unfurl or reverse. Rewind into a time where we first occurred. I won't stop till the time I succeed with the peeps. Just another last one who needs a release. I won't stop till the beat drop. Now got the heat locked. I live a bars as hard as when your feet start. So feel the lockdown. Yeah, there's no doubt. Cause this world is too hard for us to stop now.
Some things in this life are so hard sometimes and make you want to give up and collapse on the spot. That's when you build the strength. Set it at what you take. Cause no one can stop me right now while I am at this place.
That's the top, man. You can't stop me. Up or down just to drop, kick you on the spot, man. Shall pop with scratches and scars. I like that going up like I'm blasting the Mars. We gon' show y'all how we go off with the Jesus in the soul that is so raw. He controls hearts, keeps them so raw. Unless the heart is opening up to the known God. So I thank you, Jesus, cause you saved me, got me into the light. So now it is all of me and taking. Cause I'm giving all of myself to you. No one can stop me with the strength and your truth. I won't stop till this world shall unfurl or reverse. Rewind into a time where we first occurred. I won't stop till the time I succeed with the peeps. Just another last one who needs a release. I won't stop till the beat drop. Now got the heat locked. I live a bars as hard as when your feet start. So feel the lockdown. Yeah, there's no doubt. Cause this world is too hard for us to stop. I won't stop till this world shall unfurl or reverse. Rewind into a time where we first occurred. I won't stop till the time I succeed with the peeps. Just another last one who needs a release. I won't stop till the beat drop. Now got the heat locked. I live a bars as hard as when your feet start. So feel the lockdown. Yeah, there's no doubt. Cause this world is too hard for us to stop now. Stop.
Turn it up.
This is not your ordinary radio.
What you got? All right.
You're listening to Ant Radio.
Where the party
Brought
at?
to you by D2S Records. We got you in the mix.
Twisting the horizon. If the sky is the limit, then I cannot describe where I've been. When the air starts falling free, when all of me prolongs the theme, I can hardly believe myself, cause flying felt like jogging on a beat. The source of it I have shall last, even when recognition is at a climax. Altitude where my grip creates a fine glass is the time that I shall find next.
From him with all your heart, nothing can keep you down. With the strength that comes under his wings, he leads the flock of his children to keep going and fly higher. Come from him with all your heart, nothing can keep you down. With the strength that comes under his wings, he leads the flock of his children to keep going and fly higher.
I've been to the worst of places, faces, empty mind, sleeping traces, stations, missions. Man, I'm going crazy. I wanna be a silver, but my heart is racing. I don't know what you've been through lately. I just know you're a teen having babies, maybe shady. What we're doing daily, we're together in it, so follow with me. I'm moving, cruising, man, I wanna move. Lay his hands up upon you like you gotta prove. Christ is the reason for the love, it's up to you. Are you gonna stop resisting? Man, it's up to you. What you wanna do when the feeling's up in you? When you feel something clip to the airy blue, your spirit's so higher than you ever knew. You can fly anywhere when you're grounded in truth.
Come from him with all your heart, nothing can keep you down. With the strength that comes under his wings, he leads
constellation, stuck in this flesh, and I'm constantly waiting for your grace to take me away from this aching. Invasive thoughts tell me I can't make it. Spiritual metamorphosis, I know I'm being transformed, but I'm sorta sick and tired of being stuck in this cocoon. I wanna bust out and crush out and trust in you. Death to my old self made me something new. Lord, I feel like the flower that will never bloom. I need to be consumed with truth on this pavement, but I wanna fly above the constellation. Wings for eternity, a being that will never be phased by the earthly things. Just by your mercy, I wanna fly so high, your face is all I ever see. But until then, I know your love will carry me.
Just
And if you never knew this, and if they never told you, no matter the cards they hand out, rather good or the bad, don't let them fold you. Take my hands, I can show you. Life ain't always so picture perfect, I'm living proof. But I'm not stopping until I'm rocking right through the roof. Defeat is never an option, I'm here to see you through.
When you feel like the walls are closing in and you don't know when, it'll be alright. I will be right by your side. Right by your side. And you can bet your bottom dollar on that. And I know how it feels to be in your back, pushed down. It's bad. Waves of despair, life's unfair. This too shall pass. The raging thunderstorm strong, but it won't last. No, but I feel you, and I feel you. Yes, I feel you, and I feel you. You wanna fade away. Thoughts are running wild and you can't ventilate, so you suffocate in hopelessness. Numb, you're emotionless, posing, feeling so dismissed. Nobody sees behind your every curtain. Nobody seems to see your heavy burdens that you carry on your shoulders. No one knows. I know that you're feeling so. When it feels like the walls are closing in and you don't know when, it'll be alright. I will be right by your side. And you can bet your bottom dollar on that. So you can bet your bottom dollar on that. Waves of despair, life's unfair, this too shall pass. The raging thunderstorm strong, but it won't last. No. And I feel you. I feel you. Yes, I feel you. And I feel you. Yes, I feel you.
That is I Feel You, the remix by LS. And prior to that was Fight This Feeling by Polarity. Before that was Fly by Youngtown featuring your boy SA, Polarity, and LS. And then, of course, the first song from the break was I Won't Stop by Youngtown. Now, this brings a special tear to my eye because these are people that I shared life with, I broke bread with, and, you know, maybe you don't know, but whenever someone comes into my life, they're always a part of my heart, no matter what. And looking at us now, looking at D2S Records and where we are in 2019, right now we're starting fresh, we're starting new, and there's a lot that we have to do to rebuild ourselves. But we had something special, we had something amazing back when we were at our prime for the time that we were. And my heart goes out to everyone that's ever taken a part of D2S Records. Now, there's artists that I don't have on today's playlist that were part of D2S Records because I was playing everything by ear, so I didn't keep accurate accounts of everything, but we do have more to our roster than what I have here today. But let's get back to the story part of it and just kind of lead you through what occurred after the concept of D2S Records. So, and then we'll go from there, and we got some more songs. So catching you up, it all started in the Bronx in New York City, and interest for the label eventually grew. We started getting artists from all over the place. We had an artist, from Indiana, moved to Florida by Kim France. She is going to be showing up later in the show on the playlist. Of course, Youngtown from Alabama, Freshman from Oregon, J Deuce from the Bronx. We have Dose, who used to be ASAP Life. It's amazing how I know all this. From California. So already all corners of the U.S., we're everywhere. We had M. Lotto and Reborn from Boston, two Boston rappers. M. Lotto used to be the hype man for Bobby Bishop, and if you knew anything about Beat My Records, he was on one of the title tracks for one of the Best of the Submission albums. It was Pounding the Pavement. Y'all remember that, hopefully. Yeah, M. Lotto had a verse on that. He toured with Bobby Bishop. Bobby Bishop was and is in my heart a big name in the Christian hip hop world. And Reborn, I think he may have toured a little bit with them. I'm not sure exactly, but Reborn was a very humble guy, and very talented as well. Then we also had a rock group, our first ever rock group called Modern Miracle. And they're with us for a little bit, straight out of Texas, East Texas. And they were kind of like the Evanescence mixed in with different genres. It was really interesting. What else did we have, man? We had so many different artists, different acts on the label, and it was diverse. And that's one of the things that I've always loved was diversity. I came from New York. I'm all about diversity. And diversity was something that I truly, honestly was very proud of. And to see it on the record label was amazing because, you know, when we're in heaven, you know that it's not going to be one color, one race, one culture, one this, one that. It's going to be a hodgepodge. It's going to be just, it's going to be amazing. But yeah, so the label was very diverse and we started to do this thing called D2S Fest. And D2S Fest was amazing. We've put on 4 of these events, and essentially what they were was just a once a year conference where everybody from the label got together. I got to meet these people that up until this point, I've only known on the internet. I've only talked to them on MySpace and Facebook. You feel me? These were internet people, and they were on my record label, and I got to meet them face to face, fly them in, pick them up from the airport, you know, put them in a hotel or at least put them in, you know, whatever room we had in my house. And I coordinated with churches and you know, different people to put on these venues. We raised up some funding from local businesses, from franchises. Panda Express was one of them. And it's just so amazing what we were able to do with such a small budget, but yet the support of everyone who understood what Death2Self Records was all about. And so D2S Fest was the one time of the year when all of us got to see each other face to face and just really focus on God together, you know, worship together, put Him first together, and prepare ourselves for the event, prepare ourselves for, you know, what we were intending to do, which was to reach out to the masses, even if the masses only included, only consisted of 10 people, which by the grace of God, we've always catered to more. Like, I think the first D2S Fest, we had 10 people, if that. It was 2 days before my wedding. I had just moved to East Texas. So yeah, it was a pretty low turnout, but the years following were amazing. It wasn't in the thousands, but it was pretty decent. But numbers didn't matter. It was more what we were doing together, being able to see the vision unfold together, and it was just such an amazing thing. I'm seeing comments here. Fun times from Polarity. Yeah, absolutely. Fun times. It was amazing because we really got to use our gifts, our talents. And so D2S Fest became a big thing, and then of course from that birthed Amped Radio. So Amped Radio has been around for several years, and Amped Radio was supposed to be the exclusive coverage of D2S. Well, not exclusive. We wanted more, but it became the exclusive coverage for D2S Fest. And Also, I wanted to make Amped Radio a venue for the underdogs, for the people that no one gave respect to, for the people that didn't have the backing of a big corporate label or, a large marketing budget. I wanted Amped Radio and I wanted Death2Self Records to be the voice to challenge those mainstream audiences and those mainstream corporations. And of course, with promoting the same theme of less of me, more of others, more of each other, more of that unity. And so we grew, we got attention, we got people to get involved. Freshman has always been such a loyal artist on the record label. Jay Deuce, man, I mean, he's still with us. And we had some amazing talent. LS being, we call her the femc, female MC, you know what I'm saying? Nobody get triggered by that, okay? It was a compliment. But this girl, man, she could sing. You heard her just a moment ago in the I Feel You remix. She could sing like crazy, but she could rap with the best of them. And she could freestyle intense. And her knowledge of the Bible, my goodness, you have not heard anything until you've heard of the Word Up mixtape. The Word Up mixtape, unbelievable. You have to. I mean, if you're a fan of some big time artists like Sev Static, you gotta pick this up. Which was published by Death2Self Records. So, we got the credit on that one, but produced by her. She was the powerhouse behind the whole project. But but a lot of things that I'm very proud of, and I'm very fond of the people that have always been a part of this record label. And there was a time when I felt the Lord telling me that there was going to be an attack on the label and to warn the artists. And I did. And unfortunately, that attack happened. And it happened in many forms. There was not just one way that it happened. Each person went through something. Some people didn't go through anything, but maybe discouragement, or maybe they just felt like it was their time to step down. But essentially, at some point, the record label just fell apart. And, as you can imagine, when yours truly is leading something like that, to see it all fall apart, it was a huge discouragement. So I kind of climbed into a cave and went on hiatus for a few years. And we never officially said that we stopped, but we essentially were dead in the water. We weren't doing anything until last year. When we decided, we're going to give this all or nothing. 2019 is marking our 15-year anniversary, and we are going to give this all or nothing. We're going to go for broke here. So, yours truly, Freshman, J Deuce, Polarity, all four of us are back at it, going full force, working on albums to release this year. We got Amped Radio back on 17 episodes so far on this one season here. And we got D2S Fest coming back this September. If you want more information, I need you to bookmark D2S Records. I'm sorry, D2SFest.com. D2S Records will give you that information too, but D2S Records, D2SFest.com. Anyway, we're done for today. I know that was quick, but here is Identity by Kim France, followed by All You Really Need with Freshman, LS, SA Polarity, Purpose by Praise featuring Freshman, and Hurricane by yours truly. I'll see you guys in the next episode. It's your boy SA. Much love. God bless.
Once again.
turn it up.
This is not your ordinary radio.
What you got? Alright.
You're listening to AMP Radio.
Where the party
Brought
at?
to you by D2S Records. We got you in the mix.
Yeah, it's your girl LS, female python, with my boy SA, and fresh man. Yo, we reppin' Christ, man, and His grace, trying to snatch up these souls, man. Yeah, it was grace that took me out the clutches of sin. Spitting in your face, I don't care lyrics about the judgment of men. Sprung off your evil desires that you glorify. Tame and rep the south side, but you don't know where your soul alive. Maybe you don't care or the cross just doesn't move. You say you know God, but my God just never knew Christ the Godson, he's awesome, the soul catcher. Got a problem, he'll solve them because he knows better. Traded your soul for cheddar, cause you's a go-getter. Traded a passion for Christ for your icy stone Rosetta. In between the sheets, violating God's command. Putting your soul on the line for the lust of a man. A crush of his hand could turn you to a grain of dust in the sand. Trust in a man with a custom-made plan and insight. Stand with Christ for your sin divides the span of your life. Stand with Christ for your sin divides the span of your life.
You think you're satisfied with all this pain inside. You need to realize that all you really need is Death2Self. Think you're satisfied with all this pain inside. You need to realize that all you really need is Death2Self.
I take my orders from the boss who sits on the throne. Never gonna stop till his name's become blown. Huge, higher than Caesar, Augustus, or Rome, or anyone known. He's giving me my training on the microphone. So I'm rapping and I'm rocking, show after show. I speak with him on the daily tip, and I thank him for his grace and that he gave me this. So in return, I'm selling his insurance so your soul won't burn. That's right, homie, make a turn. The road you're on is ending and time is wasting. He loves you endless, he's so amazing. I turn to him, and life's been better ever since I did. Ever since I've lived for him, he's been pouring out blessings like being with SALS and Brittany. Y'all with me?
You think you're satisfied with all this pain inside. You need to realize that all you really need is Death2Self. Think you're satisfied with all this pain inside. You need to realize that all you really need is Death2Self.
Jack be all nimble, and Jack be very great, but Jack said we'll never get him over the candles. Fixed like the light that shines faster in plain sight. The candles lit amid the darkness is lost, the fight is right. Yeah, it's the spirit coming out just to get you. You complain, we're some extra tissues for your issues. Let me tell you something, I would never tell you lies. Compromise, nah, be Jesus is my alibi. Oh why, my mind, get the blank out of your eye. Don't just look at me and say my sin is worse than that guy. I don't know you, fella, but you need to be saved. Got my fan praying for you like it's the latest craze. Let me make this clear, in case you were guessing. You can't stop the team in Brit, L, me and just freshmen. Yeah, Death2Self has got you, you're listening closer. We on the mission to rebuke every demon and poser. Yeah.
You know what?
Constantly the same thing, man. People just not wanting to give in and humble themselves before the great I am, you know what I mean? You know, that's what we're here for, just be accountability, you know what I mean? Yeah, Freshman, LS, Britney, SA.
Talk to yourself and give your life to him.
P-U-R-P-O-S-E. As I rap that G-O-D, they ask me what I write. I tell them this is how it's gonna be. I listen how they do it. I get the crowd hyped. I show them how to do it. I show you God's light. P-U-R-P-O-S-E. As I rap that G-O-D, they ask me what I write. I tell them this is how it's gonna be. I listen how they do it. I get the crowd hyped. I show them how to do it. I show you God's light. It's my purpose, see this. Still spitting for my Jesus. A conclusion to my thesis. Put freshmen on the remix. I step up to the mic and express how I'm feeling. Spit my thoughts and what in life that I am dealing with. I was born as a Christian and raised up in God's hands. He opened up my heart and put the mic in my hands. Then he set life to my mind and put a tone to my voice. Told me in a dream I had that I was his choice. The Bible is my motive, the word is where I go to. God and I, we write rhymes, my voice is what it flows through. Let me tell you now, in just this one time, if you want nonsense in your rhymes, do not spend your times on these tracks where I rap that G-O-D. And they even sound so good, so H-O-T. And I'm hot when you're feeling it and fiending for a decent script. Believe the same meaningless. I speak to Jesus mission, kid. P-U-R-P-O-S-E. As I rap that G-O-D, they ask me what I write. I tell them this is how it's gonna be. I listen how they do it. I get the crowd hyped. I show them how to do it. I show you God's light. P-U-R-P-O-S-E. As I rap that G-O-D, they ask me what I write. I tell them this is how it's gonna be. I listen how they do it. I get the crowd hyped. I show them how to do it. I show you God's light.
I've got my purpose, I've been purchased. I like doing this, so I'm always working. I got focus like eyes at a circus. Ice got nothing on this, I'm too hot. Got the fire of the Holy Ghost. My desire is to roll with folks whose power is higher, and not just to roll with folks. I wanna live a legacy and die a legend like S.A. with my music and my life. So I start today and pray fervently. Yes, I clutch the mic, Lord God bless this music and please touch some lives, cause there ain't much time in the game. So I hustle to spread the name on G-O-D, we O-D. Me and P to the race with our hands raised. Freshman in praise, you look wave flow like grits. Round and round we go. Prepare to tell them how our P-U-R-P-O-S-E go.
P-U-R-P-O-S-E. As I rap that G-O-D, they ask me what I write. I tell them this is how it's gonna be. I listen how they do it. I get the crowd hyped. I show them how to do it. I show you God's light. P-U-R-P-O-S-E. As I rap that G-O-D, they ask me what I write. I tell them this is how it's gonna be. I listen how they do it. I get the crowd hyped. I show them how to do it. I show you God's light. If God is your purpose, then raise up your hands.
Raise up your hands.
Now raise up your hands. If God is your purpose, then raise up your hands.
Raise up your hands.
Now raise up your hands. If God is your purpose, then raise up your hands.
Raise up your hands.
Now raise up your hands. If God is your purpose, then raise up your hands.
Raise up your hands.
Now raise up your hands.
There's always somebody who really wants to make you fall, but you can rise above it all. Don't listen to the lies that try to make you feel so small, cause you're a hurricane and you're riding through the storm, riding through the storm.
Rising above every obstacle will thorn at you. You gotta realize the real pride's already inside of you. You're the greatest, you're a star, he's thinking phenomenal. You're the illest in what you do, don't you ever drop the ball. Listen to me, don't buy in the crowd, people telling you make it for less than what you are, or it's excitable. Providing your eyes, realize the sky shine for you. Brand the name above names, etched deep inside of you. Remember who it is, the one that came and died for you. Nobody ever loved you as much as the one that cries for you. Every day, every night, the things people do to you. Casting you inside out of pride like this kid is worth pursuit. They ain't mad at you, listen to me, don't feel misused. This ain't about you, it's a deeper kind of issue. It ain't flesh and swords against, it's complete spiritual. Christ is gonna fight it, win it all on behalf of you.
There's always somebody who really wants to make you fall, but you can rise above it all. Don't listen to the lies that try to make you feel so small, 'cause you're a hurricane and you're riding through the storm, riding through the storm.
Looking at yourself every chance that you get, hoping you see something looking at, but nothing yet. Stalking your flesh and getting worse with every glance. Thoughts of suicide, popping in and out like it's a dance. Playing around with it, you never go too far. Till one day you're holding those pills you found in the car. Their prescription, they belong to dad, but he won't know. It's just a quick swallow, and then you end it all. Nobody will miss me, huh? If only you knew. That girl across the hall, yeah, she's in love with you. She's decided to say it, I hope she make the move, but you never know that you do what you gonna do. So you thinking the bad, it's tears straight from your eyes. Up to your knees, daddy found you in the nick of time. It wasn't an accident, someone's looking out for you. So hold on, soldier, I know you make it through. There's always someone who's gonna just think the worst of you, but you're a hurricane, brother, you gotta push on through.
There's always somebody who really wants to make you fall, but you can rise above it all. Don't listen to the lies that try to make you feel so small, 'cause you're a hurricane and you're riding through the storm, riding through the storm.
Now you're walking around full of spirits out, but you're more than what you see, I hope you figure it out. The power that's inside of you, living and it's coming through. Power just to make a move, you don't got nothing to prove. People may rise up on you and try to lie and rip on you, but then it's just, man, yeah, they're hurting too. You're the bigger one or two, so go ahead, try something new. Try to understand that people need a little help from you. Pray for them, even when they persecute, even when they're hurting you. That is how you push on through, I'm showing you. You don't gotta take your life, even when you can't goodbye. Those who thought you should've not, raise your voice to Adonai. I promise you won't get on by. If you rise and not decline, be the biggest man alive, even if it makes you cry. It's okay, trust in me, pick it up and toss aside. I know you're hurting, man, listen, it'll be alright. The Holy Spirit lives in you, and it wants to come alive. The hurricane is rising.
There's always somebody who really wants to make you fall, but you can rise above it all. Don't listen to the lies that try to make you feel so small, 'cause you're a hurricane and you're riding through the storm, riding through the storm.
That's right, man. Listen, I'm telling you the truth. I've been where you've been, but now you know when you go through the storm, you see the other